Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Kordial Media YouTube channel. My name is Adriana, and I help Shopify e-commerce businesses and content creators drive traffic and sales with Pinterest. Today, I'm going to walk you through how we turned $35,000 into $75,000 in our case study video. But before we do that, don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button and to hit the bell to be notified every single time I post a new video here on the Kordial Media YouTube channel. Without further ado, let me show you my strategies. All right, this is how we turned 33K into 75K in a 1-1 conversion window for a lingerie client with Pinterest ads. So we launched in February and we're able to gradually scale the account throughout the year. Now that the summer is around the corner, we're experiencing more of a dip right before ramping back up probably in August ahead of Q4. So let me show you the breakdown of what things look like. We can also look at a bigger window regardless. The data is pretty similar. So if we go back to a smaller window, this is what the data kind of looks like. So we've got one performance plus broad campaign running to the US. That's $160 a day. Well, it's been varied. We scale it up or down depending on the performance every week. This campaign has basically one ad group and 4 pins at all times. Between 2 and 4 pins at all times. With lingerie, you have to watch out that a lot of the pins get rejected. So typically for ad accounts, I'm only, doing a creative refresh by adding one new pin every, 2-3 weeks. But for this account, because lingerie gets rejected really easily, we've been adding 3 pins at a time because 1 or 2 get rejected and then there's one that sticks around. So that's kind of been the strategy for this campaign. We launched it, we let the 14-day learning phase pass, and then we started optimizing by pretty much only doing creative refreshes and scaling up or down the budget depending on the performance. So that's number 1. Number 2, we launched a top of funnel interesting keywords campaign, conversion campaign at around similar daily budget. And it's done a little bit less well than the broad one, but still very solid for a conversion campaign. The strategy here was one ad group and then a variety of different types of interesting keywords that are relevant to the niche. So for interest, we have wedding lingerie, honeymoon, bralette, bodysuit, sports bra, hosier, underwear, corset, lingerie, and a variety of other different types of interests that are relevant or adjacent to the product. What's interesting is that they all spend a different type of amount and some perform better than others. So the second top performer still generated a lot of sales, but was a little bit less successful than the top spender. The top spender interest generated more sales than the second top spender. So this could be one where we would remove to funnel the budget to more of the other interests. When it comes to keywords, very similar situation where only around 5 keywords spent quite a bit, whilst the other ones didn't spend too much. Some got sales, some did not. But the keywords are typically not the thing that suck the most spend, although this is quite high compared to the interest. So in this case, it did the opposite. The keyword was top performer versus the interest, which is rare to see. So that goes to show that adding both is good in a campaign, in an ad group, because if one thing stops performing, if your top performing interest stops performing, well, it can lean on the keywords and vice versa. Again, we always had between 2 and 4 pins in this campaign. And really in all the campaigns, we were mixing both static pins and video pins. But the top performing pins were video pins for the most part, but we do still launch some static pins because sometimes they would perform very well as well. We had retargeting going for quite a while, and then we recently just paused it for the summer, but retargeting always did pretty well too. So the audiences that we have in retargeting are add to carts, save visitor, and pin engagement. As you can see, the add to cart audience in the last 90 days spent a little bit more, but didn't get as many sales as pin engagements and site visitors, which is also rare. Typically, you see the add to carts get the most successful ROAS here. I'm assuming that they're not getting good ROAS because the audience might be too small. And because site visitors and pin engagements are bigger, that's where all the sales are coming from. So that's pretty much how that is set up. If you need a tutorial on how to set up audiences, I have one on my YouTube. I will try and link it in the description box below for you. And again, we were using more sale messaging in the retargeting campaign. So something like buy one, get one free. We were leveraging more static pins with that messaging in the retargeting campaign versus the other campaigns, the top of funnel campaigns. We were leveraging more lifestyle videos with no text overlay on them and just leveraging really strong copy at the pin title, something a little bit seductive without being too explicit at the same time. We played with the catalog campaigns too, but because it's a lingerie client, their catalog got rejected a couple of times, which hurt the performance. But if you're in a position where you can run catalog and you're on the ball with making sure your catalog doesn't get rejected, then I would definitely recommend this campaign. It always performs well for the majority of our clients. And then we were trying to scale in other countries, UK and Australia, but because again, we launched catalog, it didn't do what we wanted it to do because it kept getting rejected. The UK broad campaign we did run for a while, but it wasn't as successful as we wanted it to be. Long story short, this is essentially the strategy. These 3 top campaigns over here are the ones that generated the majority of the sales and are the ones that I recommend you launch as well for your ad account. If you need any help setting up your Pinterest campaigns, we have a special deal right now happening where we're setting up your campaigns for you for a one-time fee, and then you kind of take them over. It does include a strategy call so that after 3 weeks or so of the campaigns running, we get to review the data together and you have an idea of where you should go with your campaigns. If you want to learn more about that, feel free to book a meeting with me. I'll put my calendar in the description box below. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.